So after many months of depressing news with the war in Ukraine, the cost of living crisis and rising interest rates, we were hoping that once the summer holidays ended and the kids went back to school, we'd be in a much better place at the start of September. On the 6th of September, we got the news that Liz Truss was our new Prime Minister, and we welcomed news of an energy price cap. But only 2 days later, we got the incredibly sad news of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. So as we enter a period of national mourning, on behalf of everyone at Rex Gooding, I wanted to offer my sincerest condolences to the royal family. So we all know what a bonkers couple of years it's been off the back of the pandemic. And interestingly, Halifax have announced the house price increase from August to August. And it's recorded at 11.6% for the East Midlands, with Nottinghamshire being in the top 4 of areas of house price growth. The house price index, obviously, that tracks house price growth on a monthly basis, and the East Midlands is one of the highest regions for house price growth at 11.6, and a lot higher than areas like London. Growth for London was 5.2%, and last month they had a drop of minus 3.5%, while the East Midlands increased last month at 1.3%, making that year-on-year, August to August, increase of 11.6, which just shows how outperforming we are in the East Midlands compared to London. Rightmove are reporting that buyer inquiries are down 4% on the market of last year, 2021, but remain 20% higher than 2019. New listings are up 12% on the same period as last year, but are still 6% down on 2019. While available stock is down 39% on 2019. Yeah, the new listings part, obviously it's always about supply and demand, and that's what we always talk about on these updates. But the biggest thing that stands out is available stock is still 39% down on 2019. So we've still got 20% more buyers than 2019 while having almost 40% less stock than 2019. So although there's all these predictions of dull and gloom ahead of us, things will still sell in West Bridgford because we still have high demand and little supply. Last month we saw the biggest monthly increase in the base rate to 1.75%. That was an increase of 0.5% in just 1 month alone. The next increase is on the 15th of September, but with better news of the energy price cap, the predictions are for not such a big jump. So interest rates are now at 1.75%, which is obviously extremely low historically, but obviously they're putting the interest rates up to combat inflation. So they will continue to go up, but it's just at what increases. And obviously when they increase, it affects the mortgage rates directly. So buyer inquiries haven't been particularly dented by the most recent interest rate rise, and that's down to their being able to sort of plan financially for it, and they're still, historically low. The big thing is when mortgage rates reach a certain point, so for example when they increase above 4% or 5%, then we tend to see impacts on the property market, i.e. on house price growth. Normally when mortgage rates exceed 4%, we see house price growth stop, and when mortgage rates increase over 5%, that's when we often see, or historically have seen, drops in house prices. So that's why it's so important, interest rates and mortgage rates on the property market. The advice is, if you're not on a fixed rate, get yourself on a fixed rate pretty quickly just to get it fixed, because in the long term you might save a huge amount of money if you're tracking above the base rate or something like that. So far it's been a busy September, lots of valuations, still people wanting to come on the market, and we're seeing more this year that people are actually wanting to downsize. So first time in a long time, some nice big houses set to come on the market this month and next month. At the moment, the demand's good, supply is low, interest rates are still low. So right now it is a good time to sell, and currently there is demand, little supply. That will balance out. So of course the supply and demand gap will change, and eventually we'll be in a position maybe 6 to 12 months where it becomes more of a buyer's market than a seller's market. So certainly at the minute it's essentially a window of opportunity to sell your home and sell it well at the top of the market. So this year and last year we got a lot of people market ready who simply hadn't seen something they wanted and just wanted to be in a position where they were a click of a button away. I think now is the time to hit the button on it if you're one of those people. So predictions for the future, Obviously, there is a lot of depressing talk about future recessions, but in my opinion, I think that if we do see property prices dropping in any way, it will be fairly insignificant really compared to the gains that we've seen over the last couple of years, which we've talked about between 20 and 25%. So anyone that has bought in the last couple of years shouldn't be too concerned about this. There's no doubt they would have fixed their mortgage rate for between 2 and 10 years, and any drop will be negligible. I think the talk of recession, I feel that if there is going to be a slight downturn, we're talking a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, unlike the recession of 2008, which was brought on by a major forces, obviously the banking crisis, and it was a broken system. This isn't. This is obviously pretty much a long overdue house price freeze or plateau, whatever you want to call it. So I think this will be short-lived, and if anything, a readjustment on some of these prices that have been slightly overinflated off the back of a pandemic. Even during the last recession of 2008, West Bridgford pretty much flatlined, plateaued prices. We didn't really see prices come down. We have seen 20-25% growth because of the pandemic, and if house prices are going to come down with, I'm thinking 2.55% max, and that's most likely on houses that have sold for way over the asking price. So thanks very much for watching this edition of the West Bridgford Wire Property Market Update in autumn. I'll see you again towards the end of the year for the winter instalment.